Hey, all you regrettable bards and bardettes, welcome back to iCast Vicious Mockery.
It's a show about blessings, about guessing, and about arbitration.
And about embarrassing celebrity secrets.
We're not going to be talking about that, no. But welcome. I'm Matt.
I'm Austin.
Well,
we've it's come to this.
it has. Episode 70,
Whatever number it is.
number it is.
Messed up the numbering on the files, so we're not actually sure right now. I'll fix it tomorrow.
Cool.
As of recording, and then we'll know.
Right. Which, for you, man, weeks in the future.
Actually, I just went back and dubbed over that so it would sound like we were very confident in which episode number we were recording. So don't mention it.
Again.
Don't mention it. Yeah.
From this point forward.
Yeah.
Don't mention it.
Right.
Anymore. Okay.
Yeah. Because we don't know what episode number it is, but we do.
Right. The future.
Nobody knows that we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in the future we will know.
Yeah, because we told everyone we do. We said, hey, we know exactly which episode number it is. I bet you don't know. And then everyone looked at their phone or whatever they're watching it on, and they were like, I have no idea what episode number it is. But then they read it. If they knew how to read numbers.
They can do numbers, yeah. Yeah. Not everybody can read numbers.
Which is why that's what we're teaching you this episode, right?
How to read
something
numbers,
like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In podcast form.
In podcast form. Oh, yeah. I forgot that this is one of those.
All right. So it's like a straight line, but sometimes at the bottom, it's like a perpendicular straight line, like all the way through.
Do you think they know what perpendicular means if they haven't learned how to read numbers?
Sure. Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. It just feels like something you'd learn in a math class.
And then off to the left side is an acute angle downward sometimes from the top.
The angle's usually like 30 degrees or so.
Yeah, like around 30 degree. Yeah, or so. Yeah, that's.
Although if you look at like old monospace fonts, it is a straight 90 degrees. Have you seen this?
Really?
Oh no, wait, that's for the letter L. We're not even there yet. We have to finish all the numbers first before
numbers
we can get to the alphabet. Okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
This was fun. This was great. I had a good time. You had a good time listening, and Matt had a good time also listening and talking.
I did.
Actually, it doesn't matter. Okay, we're good. Do we have any? You got any little homebrews for us?
Yes, I do.
That sounds like a big fat no.
Yes, I do. Hey,
press X to doubt.
Have you ever thought, hey, I want this pen to never run out of ink?
I probably have thought that. I don't think it anymore. Sort of.
Right.
But I probably have in the past.
You know why nobody ever thinks that?
Why?
Because you never keep a pen until it runs out of ink. It's very rare.
So I use a fountain pen on the reg,
Yeah, he does. It's true.
And it doesn't hold a ton of ink. Like it holds like a week's worth of ink at the rate that I use it, which is actually not very much. Other people could use all of the ink in probably one writing session. I don't even know. But I want it to run out so I can put in another color.
Right.
So this sounds like a really bad homebrew is what I'm saying. Who made it?
It's
whatever this is.
It's user D20 loot.
More like dunce 20 loot. I'm sorry, that was maybe mean. But it was a little funny.
Sure. Let's call that funny. Hey, this quill can create an endless amount of ink, and it never needs to be refilled.
Ah.
Also, you can use an action to state the name of a color of your choice, and then the color of the ink created by the quill will change to that color.
Can I say it's hex code? I think that
Okay, you're picking up exactly on what I want to talk about with
All
this
right,
thing.
cool.
Because it's not like it doesn't say imagine a color and it can become that.
Mm-hmm.
It says state the name of the color.
Right.
It doesn't sound like there are any limitations here.
No.
So like, what is it? So I'm thinking like hex code, perfect, right?
Yeah.
But even like chartreuse, right? You say salmon.
Blurple. Just figure it out,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, that's your job, Quill.
That is not a me problem. That's a Quill problem.
It's a Quill problem. But what happens if you say the name of something? Like could you say the color of a humpback whale and then just start writing with it? Like what would happen?
No, that's not a name. That's not the name of the color.
Okay.
But I feel like, all right, so if you said orange, that's also the name of a fruit. Well, maybe not in D&D, I'm not sure.
Sure.
All right, but it's a fruit, it's a color.
Uh-huh.
When you say the name of the color, which is orange, the Quill would react to it as though it's a color, but it is also the name of the fruit. But does that mean that there is like a true name of each color? Is there like an ancient, like an ancient magic that determines the name of all colors specifically?
Right. Oh, this is exactly where I was hoping this would go. Yeah, because like,
and is that hexadecimal? Like, do you just do the hex code from? All right, anyway,
because it seems like such an innocent, simple homebrew, right? You say a color and it becomes right. Clearly, I think clearly the intention of this magic item is you say green and it's green, right? But no, the implications of this are
they left it wide open.
Yeah.
For a lot of fun. Right,
exactly. Like what does it actually mean to say the name of exactly, and what does the name of the color even imply? Because the thing that's funny about it is that people will get into disagreements about what a color is. I said salmon earlier because two different people could look at the same color and could look at different colors and call them salmon.
Oh man, wait a second. Okay, first off, Basket, better watch yourself, mister.
Yeah, Basket, don't ruin the wiring.
All right, but second of all, what if it shows the color? Oh my god, the color according to the viewer. So like I say green, I write something, to me it's green, to you it's green.
Right.
And that would mean that looking at it, you would know what color it is. I wonder if that means that if you came up with a color somebody doesn't know, could they see it? Would it look clear to someone who doesn't know this color's name?
It's like, yeah.
Like somebody would have to go into the paint store and study all of the swatches. Somebody would have to order the Pantone book of colors.
Yeah. It's a new class in D&D. The coloromancer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That I think that would be my official ruling as a DM. Would be like if you don't know the name of this color, you cannot see it.
You can't see it.
Which means if you can't speak the same language as the person who named the color, you also can't see what they write.
You can't see it because you don't know. Right. Like I know that green is verde in Spanish.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I could see that.
Yeah.
If somebody said verde and they wrote it, I could see it. But if somebody didn't know that,
any bard whose college is like an actual college, or any wizard who went to a school, you could definitely get away with them being like, oh, I know the words for a couple basic colors in like 20 languages.
Right. And it's
I mean, no, yeah, I definitely don't know the Elvish word for puce, but like, who does?
Yeah, who does?
Is there an Elvish word for puce? Probably not.
Right. And like, what about there is now, but it like Japanese didn't have a word for the color green for like the longest time in their language. So
and Latin didn't have blue.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Latin didn't have blue. So like, what do you do in that case?
Yeah. Yeah.
How you just can't see it.
You cannot see it. You are unable to see it at all. I love that.
But I also love the idea of colors having their true name. Because that's such a fantasy thing. It's like the true name holds so much power. Like
and you know why?
Why is that?
Because freaking fantasy authors are all writers. So of course they think words are important.
Yeah, words are exactly.
God, I wish we could get some fantasy authors who weren't writers to get a different perspective.
But I'm saying I would just love it. This is a common magic item.
So this is a little weight I've been carrying that I've got to get off my chest right now.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So there are all these wonderful quotes about writing, about how it's so important and valuable and great.
Guess who wrote them?
Freaking writers.
Yeah.
You know why there are not so many quotes about like anything else? Because guess who writes quotes? Dummy. They're just trying to sell you their stuff.
Yeah. By the very medium.
Yeah.
In which they operate. Yeah.
And you know what? There's so much of it that it doesn't work. Every time I see one of those quotes about like writing is the true portal to the soul, I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
This didn't work on me. So no, clearly it's not.
This is one instance where being subjective actually makes you wrong. But my favorite thing about this is this is a common item. Any old person could have this, and yet you could do a story where the character has this quill, and then they say green, and they start writing, and like nothing will come out. Right. Because green is not the true word for that color. Yeah. And they have to, they're green like, what? It's not a creative color. Exactly. And they've got to like research. Like,
yeah, I want to meet the person who names these colors.
Right.
I want to find out if that's a person or if like the whole thing's a simulation.
Who decided what the true name of these things are?
Right. What if there's a freaking council?
A council of elders.
Oh, all these just the most boring people. And like you finally meet them and they're like, all right, well, we've got a couple more colors to decide on today. So let's take a look at number 1 here. Yeah. Well, I definitely see some green influences and a little bit of red. This is definitely a color we've not seen before.
Yeah. What's going? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. A council of elders, or the opposite, where it's like what was that book? Did we read I don't remember if we read this book in grade school or what, but the one where the kid tries to rename the word pen. What was he called? Like Frindle. Yeah, yep. Frindle. He tries to, and he's like, it's like this big thing where he's like, oh, Frindle. That's what I'm calling it from now on. What if that was all
postmodernism?
Oh boy, yeah. Like what if that was it? Like you just say like Flagablugen, and like suddenly it writes in blue, and you're just like, that's what I call blue. So the pen will like the opposite. I think is just as
the
funny.
pen does like it. Do you attune to it?
No.
Okay. If it had attunement, then I would say it should do exactly that.
Yeah.
Whatever you call the color, that's what it does.
But again, I just love that you have to say the name out loud. It's like all this pomp and circumstance. It says it takes an action to do this too. So you just like hold the pen aloft and you're like, I command thee, blue.
Hey guys, can you give me 6 seconds real quick? Yeah. I'm just going to say a color. Green. Okay, that was real tough, but it should work.
It took some effort. It takes more effort to change the color of this than it does to open a door or pull out your weapon
Yeah.
or sheathe your weapon.
Yeah. Which makes sense because, well, no, okay. I guess a lot of talking is a free action. So a lot of the time when you're like speaking.
Right. Right. I just think it's.
Is there like a thematic element to naming the colors?
Well, it says that you use your action to state the name of a color.
Okay.
But that's it.
That's verbal.
Right. So just verbal is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Technically.
Okay. Who made this again?
D20 loot.
D20 loot. I like it. Thank you.
Me too.
That was really good.
Endless entertainment value.
Yeah.
Right before we started, I looked at this and I was like, is this dumb?
Even if it was.
Even
like,
well,
I mean, it's great. It feels it honestly. I would have thought that was an item in one of the books.
Yeah, weird that it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It maybe there's a quill that never runs out of ink, but the color changing thing I think is unique.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, how often do people have, other than like paint, like a quill that writes? Could you? Sorry, Basket just launched herself onto the back of that
what
chair.
What are you doing? What the heck?
She just like a cat.
All right, I gotta rescue my dog.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, she's like stranded up there.
I think she just wants the blanket.
Yeah, I think that's all it was. Yep. Yeah. Oh, poor Basket. She's cold. She's just cold. There we go. There we go. Getting tucked in there, Basket.
Yeah, she'll never get out of that.
Okay, cool. She's nice and warm now.
That's all she ever wants, really.
Yeah.
I mean, she's built for the freaking desert, man.
Yeah.
She should live in Arizona, really.
It's yeah, there is snow on the ground out there right now.
Yep.
It's cold.
It's very cold.
It's 13 degrees outside.
I would say it's almost frigid. Not quite frigid, but almost frigid. And I'm not talking about refrigerator. That's warm.
That's like 40 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. If I came in from outside and went into my freezer, I'd be like, oh, this is nice. This is a real good relief.
Sorry, I think that my tablet just made a noise and I'm not even sure. I thought that I had media volume turned off. I don't know what's going on. Okay, anyway, so that's Basket. She's warm in the blanket now, I think.
Yeah. So after that epic saga, what have we got next?
Well, I know.
How can we possibly move forward from here?
I know how much you love talking about One Piece.
Great.
White Shadow 1124 has a nice Bleach homebrew for us.
All right. I just found this out yesterday.
Okay.
Do you know who voices Ichigo in the English dub of Bleach?
In the English dub of Bleach? No, I don't.
Johnny Yong Bosch. That's right. The second Black Power Ranger.
Really?
Yeah. He does the voice of Ichigo. It's awesome.
That's cool.
I'm probably going to watch Bleach now up to the point where I lose interest in English because, yeah, I want to hear this.
I've seen, okay. I don't know why, but I have been getting a lot of like targeted ads and targeted media in general, specifically related to Bleach. Something that...
Well, they're going hard with the, whatever thing it is.
Right, yeah, they've got that... What is it? Is it a movie or a series? A limited series?
Yeah, I think it's a limited series, possibly.
That's ending. Because they never finished... They finished...
They're doing like the last arc.
Yeah.
But as
but animated.
I guess they're just finishing the anime.
Right, exactly.
And they're calling it a special thing. I forget the whatever forever infinite battle, the super long battle, whatever it's called.
Something that they will apparently do for Bleach, but they won't do for like Hunter x Hunter or something like that, who, which deserves it.
Which one's Hunter x Hunter?
The one with the X in the middle.
Oh, right. Hunter's Hunter.
Hunter's Hunter.
Right, yeah.
Hunter's Hunter.
Hunter.
I called it Hunter x Hunter for the longest time.
Yeah.
Until I heard somebody say it out loud, and I'm like, that's a lot easier to say. I think I'm just going to drop it.
I think it should be called Hunter Cross Hunter. Fight me.
I dig it. I dig it. So do you want to play a sorcerer that is based off of Quincy's from Bleach?
Oh my God, they are sorcerers, aren't they? I knew I didn't like something about those guys.
Right. So let's see.
Wait. Does this have a rundown of what Quincy's are? Does it have like their deal explain to our audience?
I think so.
Okay.
They're sorcerers with the ability to manipulate their own soul and the energy present in the air that other souls give off.
Yeah, so Bleach has 87 magic systems.
Yeah.
One of them is that like your soul is a magic thing that you can use as magic. And some regular human people seemingly are born with the ability to do this. Actually, it's a genetic thing, it turns out.
It's genetic.
Oh, and by the way, some characters who you don't expect have this ability. No, you expect it by then. By then, you're like, oh yeah, of course.
Probably all of them do.
No. But you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, duh.
I should have.
Yeah, they would have to be. They've had every other ability so far. I think it's the last one of their abilities that is revealed.
Okay.
So, because the Quincy's are like the last thing that they fight,
that they explore and fight.
Yeah. So you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. They were this and this and this and this. So I guess it makes sense that they're also
one of these.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And I swear to God, if you think that's a spoiler. If they get to their third ability and you're like, oh, this is a spoiler that you revealed who it was. No, you could tell. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
This is your dumb fault.
There's a reason that it was canceled. Because it just was like, oh, by the way, it stops being surprising after the third or fourth.
I think that it like does the thing that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure does, where it goes from, what's that called? Hamon. They're like vibration-y magic system to stands, which are just like superpowers, but not within you. They're like a superpower embodied by another being.
Right.
Who is connected to you or something.
But the thing with stands, may I say, is that they have given JoJo's Bizarre Adventure like basically an infinite.
That's what I mean.
Creative element. Yeah.
Stands were replacing like the one magic system because they wanted a magic system that would let them redefine the odds whenever.
Right.
And so they did. They have other ones too, I think, because there's something about vampires or something. I don't know too much about it or care too much about it right now. But in Bleach, they were like, all right, well, now we have to make a thing because like we've already met the absolute strongest people you can possibly meet in this magic system. So we have to make a thing that's like hard for them to fight. But it's a very well-defined magic system and we've already got to the top, so we have to make a new one. And they just do that 4 times.
Right. Exactly.
Because people kept asking for more Bleach.
Oh, well, maybe that might be it. That might be it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the intention was for it to end sooner.
Much sooner, yeah, I'm sure.
But they just had to keep it going.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know the political implications either, but I do know now, I've learned that Eiichiro Oda and Musashi Kishimoto were friends.
Oh,
they actually knew each other, and they were friends, and they were pals growing up with Shonen Jump and being in Shonen Jump together at the same time. But apparently, what's his name? Tite Kubo.
Yep.
At least he and Oda, I saw an article recently, didn't get along at all. Like really didn't like each other. And those were like the big three back in the day. For those who don't know, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, the big three. So maybe he felt a competitive urge to keep the story going because both Naruto and One Piece went on for a while. Like I imagine whenever Bleach was intended to end was well before Naruto and One Piece,
Well, Naruto ended, One Piece. Keep going,
One
man.
Piece is still going.
Yeah, no. I think it was I think it ended at one point, essentially. But then, there were just more chapters.
But then they just kept going. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the Quincy's. If you want to play a Quincy in D&D, I don't know. Then their spells are conjuration spells mostly.
Yeah. I would try to play a Quincy maybe if they were a not sorcerer. I feel like I've been too nice to sorcerers lately.
You have actually.
Yeah.
You've been very nice to sorcerers. It gives you when you the way that they want to do this is they're called a sorcerer, but one of their things is that you can do a spiritual weapon. Spiritual weapon is a cleric spell that basically you can kind of use your imagination and you can make whatever you want. The weapon can manifest whatever way you want it to, essentially. But this is giving you a list of 6 things you can make, and I think that's it. But one of them is a bow.
Yep. That's like the standard Quincy weapon, I think.
I think so, yeah. I think that's right. Which is a ranged weapon, which is, I think, already kind of...
That's different than what spiritual weapon lets you do, I believe.
Yes, because spiritual weapon you cannot make. But another difference is that unlike spiritual weapon, the cleric spell, this does not act independently. It can't move independently of you. It's a weapon that you create that you hold. Yeah. So you learn a Quincy moving technique. You can essentially teleport.
Yeah.
Up to 5 times your charisma modifier as a bonus action. But you have to spend a sorcery point to do it. Only 1 sorcery point. Let's say, if you max out.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 5 times your charisma modifier per day.
No.
I was going to be like, oh, that's a lot. A lot of teleports. That'd be a very fun combat style, wouldn't it? Just freaking
5 teleports per day.
Well, no, 5 times charisma modifier. I mean, that could be
25.
That could be 25.
At most, yeah.
I think I could do a little better than a 20 charisma score. Come on now.
A little bit better. Yeah. 30, 35, 40.
Yeah. Roll 8d8, drop the lowest.
So that's already crazy.
Yep.
To teleport, you're basically saying you can teleport 1 sorcery point. That's it. You have a number of sorcery points equal to your level, I believe. Your sorcerer level.
Okay.
So 5th level, you could do that 5 times.
5 is pretty good. At 10th level, 10 times, I'm feeling that that's where it starts to feel pretty strong to me. Where it's like, oh, heck yeah, 10 times. I mean, that's enough to get in and out of danger a lot.
And it's only a bonus action.
Ooh, now we're talking.
So really oh boy.
Yeah, that's real good. I like that.
All right. So you know a lot more about Bleach than I do.
Yeah.
So I don't even understand most of this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you can help me out.
Yeah, I can try.
This one is called Blood Dress. Is that significant in any way?
Yeah. Yeah, they have this ability, like everybody does in Bleach. They do a costume change and it makes them stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I forget exactly how theirs works. It might have to do with them actually bleeding. I don't remember. But
so what it explains here is you can make your spiritual energy flow into your blood vessels.
Okay, yeah.
Making you stronger.
Yeah, and I think it makes them look different. They get like a fancy clothes upgrade. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of a different magic system in Bleach.
Okay, so you can spend 1 to 5 sorcery points. I don't know. Oh, okay, because that it affects the number of sorcery points affects how good it is. But okay, so you do one of 3 things basically.
Mm-hmm.
Roll an extra weapon die equal to the number of sorcery points spent for a minute. These all last for a minute. So if you spend 5 sorcery points and your weapon does a d6 damage, you're rolling an extra 5d6 every time you make a weapon attack. That's insane.
Yep.
Like no way to mince words.
So this is basically a sorcerer build who is designed to use their weapon. Like that. Yeah. That's your goal, is to power up and then use your weapon.
Right.
And teleport.
I guess maybe the balance is that you're squishy too, but you can use a bow.
Right.
So you don't have to get into the fray. Is part of it. Okay, anyway. You can also increase your armor class by the number of points spent. So up to 5.
I would love to pair this with a rogue and get sneak attack on the bow.
Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be insane.
I don't know how many levels it takes to set up a coffee lock, but all right, I think I have a really good idea now. Just imagine infinite sneak attacks with the bow supercharged. Like
yeah. Yeah.
And you can just teleport all day. Nobody can ever touch you.
I think a pretty normal armor class for a sorcerer, because they can't wear armor, is 12. So you're getting up to potentially a 17 armor class, which is pretty good. That's pretty darn good. Or the third thing is you create a 20-foot sphere centered on you, and creatures inside of it are immune to the effects of spells cast at a level that is equal to or lower than the number of sorcery points you spent. So all creatures in the sphere are immune to potentially 5th level.
That's pretty good.
Lower spells. That's crazy.
If you use it with 1 point, you're also getting rid of all cantrips. That's nice.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I'll say about that is it says all creatures inside are immune. So
enemies are immune,
includes,
and you can't willingly use a spell on them either.
Right.
Is what I would assume.
The implication, I guess, is that you also can't
Yeah.
cast spells on them. Yeah.
Or yourself.
Or on yourself. That's true. Okay. So that one's kind of more self-balanced.
All creatures are immune. If you have a construct, you could still do spells on it.
Yeah, I guess technically. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, some other kinds of stuff. So it's not really quite spell nullification. It's like some kind of weird, it's like some kind of, like, I sap the magic out of the people, out of living things.
Yeah, but also, if you're standing outside of the sphere and cast a spell into it, it won't work. Because the way it's worded is it says that it doesn't say that creatures inside the area can't cast the spell.
Right. It's that they're immune.
They're immune to.
I guess they could cast spells, but they just can't do it on themselves. Okay. Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess really the implication is that you can cast anything you want, but it won't do anything.
Oh, true. Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah,
technically you could cast anything.
That's weird. That's weird. It's weird to figure out how that works. Like in a weave sense in D&D, like how are you shutting this off one way,
right,
and not the other? But I mean, I guess it gets explained in Bleach, so you could use that explanation, or you could just like there'd be an interesting one to try to come up with.
It does make sense, because if you cast a spell and somebody else counter spells it, you still have cast that spell.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's almost like an anti-magic area.
But like, how can you cast the spell through, like, from within it? Like, because what are you doing when you cast this? You're like tugging on the weave, but like, how come your part of the weave works to touch the further parts that way, but when they touch your part from there, it does not work? Well, but maybe that's not exactly how the weave works.
Exactly, because in that case, the whole idea behind spell slots doesn't make sense.
Why does that not make sense?
Because then why is it that you're only able to affect the weave so much in a day to like that extent? You know what I mean?
I thought that was I guess it's not really like a physical drain on your body. No, I'm still confused. Why does this make spell slots not make sense, though?
Well, because if the idea is that you just know how to affect the weave and that's it, if it has nothing to do with you, anything like inside or about you, then why is there a limitation on how much you can use it? Like, there's no limitation on how much you can swing a sword.
Well, there is. It's just as much as your arms can handle.
Right.
Eventually, you can't hold it anymore.
But in terms of the rules of D&D, there's no limit.
Yeah. They should change that.
You can only start taking tally marks.
Yeah. Like super realistic combat where you get exhausted by like a minute in. You've got 10 rounds. After the 10 rounds of combat, every character who is fighting is just spent. And all you can do is like swing your arm limply at people.
It turns into, God, there's so many movies with scenes like that, but I can't think of one where both characters are just done, but still fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like John Wick.
Yeah,
but he's done, but he still fights like an expert, and still crushes people.
Right.
But it like a similar kind of thing where like he'll crash into stuff and he'll fall over all the time. It's like he doesn't like it's not neat. It's very sloppy.
But still done really well.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like even totally exhausted, he still comes up with the right way to beat somebody. Like he doesn't actually need energy to beat them, but he still uses some because he has to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway.
Yeah.
The true reason there are spell slots is for balancing reasons. So lore wise, it doesn't have to make sense. But so at 14th level, this one's crazy, man. It's called Disheveled Puppet, which is a weird title. Anyway.
It's probably a quote.
14th level. So you can take strands of soul energy and connect your brain. This probably happens in the show or in the manga. You can connect your brain directly to your limbs. So you can control your body like a marionette, allowing you to move despite, pretty much anything. So basically what this means is you ignore the effects of...
You can no longer be like...
poisoned, paralyzed, poison, paralyzed, Well, that's it. Weirdly.
Yeah, I thought that there would be another one, but I guess like restrained. No, you still can be held.
Still restrained. Yeah. But you can't. So you can't be paralyzed.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't say stunned. Stunned would.
I guess stunned
make sense.
Stunned is no. I think stunned is like when you get hit in the face and your brain's like, "Whoa, give me a minute here." I think that's what stunned is, compared to paralyzed. So
okay,
and that's why monks do that, right?
Yeah.
Like the stunning strike is them just like clocking you real good in the head.
Yeah, in the right spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, whoa, boy. Oh, man, I hope that I can stay conscious.
Now, you can also use charisma for all attack and damage rolls when you do this. Now, this feature you can only do once per long rest. And you have to spend 5 sorcery points to do it.
How long does it last?
A minute.
A minute? Mm.
And it's a bonus action to activate.
Okay.
As is everything else. Somehow this one doesn't sound so bad.
What?
Like, it doesn't sound so crazy strong.
You know, yeah. I was just like, how many uses are there for it? Like, you'd have to get poisoned or paralyzed, and then your turn comes around and you fail your save. If there is a save. I guess there's not always. But 5 sorcery points, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that feels like a lot.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Well,
too.
Okay, I guess you are probably getting a boost to your damage from using
from your
charisma.
Yeah, because you're a sorcerer,
right?
That's your thing is charisma.
Yeah.
Now, at 18th level, you are complete.
Whoa!
What does that even mean?
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay, guess how many sorcery points you spend?
10.
5.
Oh, 5.
It's 5 for everything.
Yeah. I guess spending 10 sorcery points would suck.
That's half of them by 20th level.
That's half of them by 20th level. Yeah.
So this is an action. You get wings.
Yeah, they do.
And a halo.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that's
they're angels. That's what Quincy's are. They're like meant. Yeah.
So for 1 minute until you die or fall unconscious, you have wings and a halo. Okay, I see what it's saying. Okay, so you also have a flying speed equal to double your walking speed.
Yep. Okay, that sounds fair.
Spirit weapon does an additional.
This is a paladin thing.
D6 damage. Yeah, it really is.
This is a paladin thing. Yeah.
And you have advantage on Constitution and Charisma saving throws. So all of this earlier stuff sounds so strong, and this kind of doesn't sound super strong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you can already teleport pretty well. Like five teleports in most situations is going to be more effective than flying.
Because most combat, like a lot of combat doesn't last.
It takes place in an enclosed space.
Yeah, and it doesn't last more than 5 or 6 rounds anyway.
Yeah. You're not really getting the full benefit of it, maybe. Yeah. I mean, like okay, so they did a really good job of like assembling stuff from different classes in order to make this. It makes sense for Quincy's to be a sorcerer, number 1, because it's a genetic thing. Number 2, they did a great job of bringing stuff from paladin. It feels like they've got paladin, ranger, and cleric, and kind of put it together.
Yeah, mashed them in there. Yeah,
and that's what a Quincy should be, basically.
Now, basically, what I'm saying, White Shadow 1124. I am not saying that I think that this is a bad build. This feels good. This feels right for what a Quincy is. I'm saying Quincy's don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, Quincy's are weird. I don't know what their deal is.
Yeah, like,
because then they get to like the big tough ones, and their powers are just not the same thing.
Just not.
They just each have their own. They just each have their own power.
Well, you have to do that at a certain point, because, I mean, it's the Dragon Ball problem. Like that's the reason. Like even when I was growing up, I never liked Dragon Ball.
Well, I mean, you've got a couple screws loose, so
Dragon Ball Z.
I could understand.
I just, I guess I can understand why somebody might like it, but I just didn't like the power scaling thing. Like, I just didn't like that the only answer was they got stronger, and they got stronger because they were the people who were supposed to win.
Yeah, but they explain during the fights in great detail exactly how strong and fast somebody is.
You're right. They do.
Like for multiple episodes.
Right. And I get that Goku doesn't always win, but he kind of does, because everything does always end up okay eventually.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah. And the solution does come down to eventually figuring out a way for Goku to fight this person.
Right. And be stronger
stronger than them.
Yeah. And that's all it boils down to.
Which often involves a lot of Goku getting beat up first. But that's also how, like, all right, so in Dragon Ball, have you heard of Zenkai boost?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, Zenkai boost is what they call that. When a Saiyan is beat up, they just get stronger from that. Like a human, they get brain trauma.
Yeah.
But a Saiyan, like every time they get beat up, they just, as long as they recover and they don't die, and actually this is probably argued upon or argued about in the Dragon Ball communities.
I'm sure already.
They are probably saying, some people are like, yeah, it doesn't work if you die. And some people are saying, yeah, it does work if you die. I think it doesn't. But as long as you survive whatever beating you take, you just get stronger in like a general sense.
That's, I mean, to me, that definitely feels like a retcon.
It is actually. Yeah. Because everything in Dragon Ball Z is a retcon. And then everything in, like, there's several layers of it to keep the series going.
Yeah, well, you're right.
But it also, like, they all kind of make sense, and you kind of forget by the time you get to each retcon that, like, it's not exactly how it worked before.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, the same thing happened in, like, Naruto. But for some reason, I didn't dislike it as much in Naruto. I think the thing that got me, you know what, though? I did eventually lose interest in Naruto, too. And you want to know when it was? Massive spoilers if you've never seen Naruto, by the way.
All right.
I was so... It's a difference between American and Japanese culture, too. I loved that there was just this rando kid that the village was, like, decided this kid was the one. He's getting the thing sealed inside of him. So then he's like, at first I was into, like, the edgelord kind of like, oh, he's got a demon inside of him. And when the demon is released, oh man, he kicks everybody's butt.
That's just like me. It's like, I get mad sometimes, and I swear to God, I've like even slammed a door before.
I mean, exactly. Like
you better watch out. Like, you better watch your back, mister.
I listened to Linkin Park, and you know, as me as a kid.
Yeah.
And then eventually it was like, the nine-tailed fox inside Naruto isn't even the strongest part about him. He's strong on his own. And I'm like, oh, yeah, even without him, he's the best. Everybody was making fun of him.
Yeah.
And then the moment they were like, oh, his dad was the fourth Hokage, the strongest person in the world. Like, it's like...
Wait, are you seriously going to tell me right now that you think the fourth Hokage was ever the strongest person alive? At any given time, and or the strongest ninja in history? Because no and no.
Really? Is that
no way? Because the first Hokage was like way stronger than anyone who came after him. It's like,
yeah.
Well, the second Hokage was really close, I think, or he might have actually been stronger. It's not clear, but the first Hokage has like super regenerative abilities.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
and besides that, could also fight better than anybody because he had the like super sage thing that Naruto's spoiler, Naruto's mom had.
Okay.
He's descended from all the Hokages, basically.
Oh, that's right. His mom. See, I forgot that his mom was descended from a Hokage.
I think that's the case. I don't remember for sure. But yeah, so the first Hokage is super strong, like what's the bag? Madara Uchiha?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a spoiler.
Yeah.
We're just gonna ruin this whole thing.
We're just gonna ruin all of Naruto for everybody. It's
now they talk about him kind of early on, Madara, and they talk about like how he whatever betrayed everybody or something. I'm sure.
Actually, okay. So I'm rewatching Naruto with some friends. One friend who's never seen it. Hopefully, he hasn't listened to any of this. Probably not.
Oh no, he is not. Don't worry.
Yeah, definitely not. So anyway, they have not mentioned Madara yet, and we're into early Shippuden.
Yeah. That's it's after. It's after I think Itachi's stuff is resolved.
Which that doesn't happen for a long time.
Yeah. And Sasuke, I think, like researches it and finds out for himself or something.
I think that they mentioned the Jinchuriki once.
Oh, you're not even there yet.
So far. So like, yeah, they've mentioned the Jinchuriki.
Yeah.
Gaara just got kidnapped.
Yeah.
Is all that's happened so far.
Yeah. Well, okay. That makes sense.
Okay, maybe I was misunderstanding it because I think also I was reading the manga. I had watched the show up to a certain point, wasn't watching the show anymore. Read the manga, I think from the beginning, but I might have actually even just picked up where I left off from the show in the manga. But I think part of my problem is that I tried reading it too fast and I didn't absorb any of the information. And I didn't really know what was going on, but it still made me mad that I didn't like that they presented Naruto as an orphan whose parents were just people who died and they weren't important.
They do it with everything.
Yeah.
They ruin this with everything.
I know.
I don't know how they do this so often. Like it happened in all sorts of things. Like Star Wars is a big example. I'm not even going to go into it.
Yeah, exactly. I hate that.
But there are all sorts of stories where they're like, yeah, this just outsider person like comes and they do the thing and it's amazing and everybody clapped.
And everybody clapped. That's great. Oh, you should have been there. Everybody clapped.
Yeah.
I hate it, man. I hate when stories do that.
I wish, I don't know how to even do, like, I don't know how, because if you introduced a new character, like, spoiler alert, Rey in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but if you introduce a new character, people are going to dislike them. Probably, because it's a new part of a thing that they like, and you could easily mess it up. So they're going to be, skeptical about it. So I guess I see why people feel a need to connect it back to the things they know.
Yeah.
I just don't think it works.
No.
I don't know why it's been tried so many times so unsuccessfully.
Right. It feels like it feels cliche. I don't know. Maybe part of it, I wonder if part of it is that at first I thought it was just a Japanese thing, but no, I think it's pervasive everywhere.
Yeah.
That like, oh, it was just this person. Nope. No, never mind. Their ancestors.
Oh, by the way, if you don't like that, don't even bother with Bleach.
Oh, I'm sure.
It happens many times in Bleach.
Oh, of course.
It's hilarious.
Of course. Like, oh, their father was actually... I mean,
I'm not going to spoil it right now, but maybe right after this, I'll tell you.
Right. And like, I was okay with it in One Piece. Because it's like, there was never an implication that he was just some guy.
No, because his well, they don't talk about his father too early on, but his father
No.
is like, they call him a revolutionary.
Yeah, that's the
which
English
I don't know.
translation.
I don't understand exactly what his role is in the world, but apparently he causes some trouble, but isn't a pirate.
Okay, so I figured it out. The way that it works is revolutionaries directly oppose the world government.
Oh, and pirates just do what they want.
Pirates just do whatever they want.
Oh, okay.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
But you know, it's easy to get bogged down in like what's the difference when you watch it, because Luffy is a pirate, but he directly opposes the world government at some point.
Yeah.
But he's still just a pirate.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do it.
He didn't like start it, actually.
Yeah.
He was
true.
causing trouble because he was just doing what he wanted to do. And the world government was like, hey, stop that. And he was like, try to stop me.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And they were like, yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the next step here.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
We're gonna, you know, beat you up now. And he was like, oh yeah, try and beat me. And then they did.
Yeah, and they did.
They beat him up multiple times, and he's like, okay, fine.
Well, maybe I need some work to do.
All right, yeah. Like I'm just, it's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience.
We're gonna take our lessons out of this. You'll take your lessons. I'll take my lessons.
One step at a time.
That's why it's called One Piece. That's why they call this One Piece.
One Piece. You get a piece.
Every
I get
little
a piece. Hold on a second. I don't know if that's really one piece. Okay, so,
okay. And his grandfather is like an important person in the world government navy.
In the navy, yeah.
And it's shown that he was raised a certain way from birth. Because first of all, his absent father didn't really raise him, but like it's clear that there's some thing there. And then his grandfather was like, well, I'm not going to raise him like that. Like I did with my son, and messed up, apparently. I never really thought about it. But what do you think Garp did to mess up so bad that Dragon is now like, you know what?
Yeah.
This thing that you do for your job, I'm going to kill it.
I'm going to directly oppose it.
That whole thing, that sucks.
Antithesis. Like, like complete opposite. Yeah. You know, I knew that I knew that Garp was Luffy's grandfather, and I knew that Dragon was Luffy's father, but for some reason, it never really connected the dots. Oda has so far kept them pretty distant from each other. Like he hasn't done anything.
I don't know if they've even mentioned each other.
No.
Well, Dragon hasn't. I don't know if he's said anything.
Dragon has had.
I don't know if anyone's decoded his face tattoo either.
Line or two. Yeah. Dragon has had like a line or two.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's never like to a main character. I don't think he's seen Luffy. He has. He's seen Luffy once.
He ran into Luffy in Broke-Town. When Luffy, in like 3 panels, almost got executed. Like fell into being executed.
Yep.
Anyway, but Garp hasn't mentioned anything about Dragon, I don't think. Not directly. And he might have indirectly mentioned something about doing something wrong with a kid before. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not raising a kid right. Yeah, I think you're right about that. But it's weird. So
the way that Oda tells his story is like a Renaissance painter making a painting where they use these like these so thin layers of paint that you can't tell that they've been doing anything. And they like they have to paint, and they have to let it dry for a week, and then they do another just translucent layer of paint, and eventually you have a full painting. Yeah. That's what he does.
He's a master storyteller. He really is. Like, it's insane. You mentioned this on the show before, and basically you saying this is the reason I decided to start reading it over from the beginning. Right now I'm on chapter 890, which is just
where I get that One Piece recap. Where are you at?
Just getting toward, I assume, toward the end of Big Mom. Sanji's whole deal is figured out.
Have you met the animal people?
Yes.
You are not close to the end of Big Mom.
Really? I mean,
I think not.
They went to Whole Cake Island.
Yeah.
Sanji's not getting married anymore. They figured that out.
Have they left Whole Cake Island?
They are leaving Whole Cake Island.
You probably have 20 chapters.
Cool. They're not leaving. They still have to stop Big Mom. Big Mom is still after them actively.
Yeah.
And this crew is still like majorly split up. Like half the crew.
Oh my God, you have a long time left.
For Big Mom in particular.
Yeah. What's Luffy up to right now?
He's fighting the sweet general number 1 guy, the Kaka whatever.
The weird mouth guy.
The weird mouth guy. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more.
You've got like 30 chapters to go.
Wow. Really? Because I looked at it, because I know, because you asked me before if they fought Kaido yet.
Yeah.
That still is going to happen? No.
That's a separate thing. That's a separate arc.
Right.
So they do leave Whole Cake Island. Spoiler, because there are more chapters. They don't get all killed by Big Mom.
Right. Exactly.
They leave Whole Cake Island, and then they get to where Kaido is eventually. I think there might be something in between still.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't have much more left. There are 1,037 chapters total right now, and I'm on chapter 890. Like there's not 100 chapters. Yes, is a lot, but it really doesn't feel like very much.
I think only one thing happens in those 100 chapters. So get ready for it.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway,
it's very big and dramatic.
There's 140. Really, something huge happens, huh?
Well, the fight that's going on now, presently in the most recent chapters.
Oh, cool.
It's a dramatic fight.
I'm sure it is, because it's in Wano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that's where they're going. Or I guess they could end up anywhere. That's how the story goes. Anyway, so starting from the beginning, it's fascinating how I'm going to have to read this whole series from the beginning again once it's done.
Yeah.
Because it's fascinating how he writes. Did you ever read? Do you read it in the places where? Do you read the volume version of it by any chance, or have you read the volume versions of them?
I don't think so. Because
Oda has this thing that he puts in the volumes called the SBS, and I don't even know what it stands for. But it's a little panel where he has like 1 billion letters of fan mail every week.
Oh, yes.
And he picks some.
Yeah, I do see this version.
And he answers. Yeah. So you've seen those. And it is it's fascinating to read like what he says in those about the story, because he said several times in volume 40, less than half of the story ago, or more than half of the story ago, that he was going to wrap it up soon. He's mentioned before, he's like, I'm going to wrap up One Piece pretty soon. And then later he'll be like, I was going to wrap it up around then, but I had another idea. And the thing is that you can tell just by the things he's set up that his ideas that he still needs to wrap up are probably the entire story he's told so far again. Like, that's how much stuff he has in the works right now. It's insane. And it's impressive that he can tell a story like this cohesively that someone can follow. Like, I know everything that's going on. And one of the, as a serialized thing that like comes out every week, it's probably not as easy to follow. But
it's not actually. Right. It is tougher.
It's not easy to follow. Well, because I remember trying to follow it weekly and not even remembering what happened the previous chapter.
Yeah.
The previous
And then
week.
not very much happens this chapter. And then so you're like 2 weeks of like, I don't know,
like
whatever.
What's going on. But altogether, he doesn't waste a lot of space. And even if it feels like not much is happening, like something is happening in every chapter.
Yeah.
It feels
except for in Dressrosa.
Except for in Dressrosa.
At least the part where they actually are fighting Doflamingo. Like after the whole stadium deal, which I guess is kind of like back to back. But like the actual part where they're like, all right, let's beat the boss here.
Right.
It's kind of like, ooh, my strings are going. Oh, watch out for my sharp strings. Ooh, here they come.
Yeah.
Ooh, you better watch out this week too. Here comes some sharp strings. Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
And then everyone's like, well, why can't we just walk out? And he's like, there are more strings. I just didn't draw them all.
Because
they're too thin and sharp. Ah!
You should play. Have you thought about contacting? We should like. We're gonna. I think it's Toei does the anime. Toei Animation.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we're gonna contact Toei Animation. We're gonna say
I should be the Japanese voice of Doflamingo.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because I think his actual voice actor is like that.
His character doesn't look like that.
Ooh, here I come! I gotta get you with my strings.
I'm gonna get some strings. I'm gonna get you with some strings.
Cut you right up. Oh,
strings. Yeah, no, that's where I dropped off was the Doflamingo fight. Literally, the Doflamingo fight. I was weekly at that point. This was like 5 years ago. I was weekly at this point, and I just couldn't keep up with it. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. But
altogether, it's gotten a lot more the Big Mom stuff was a lot more interesting. The Zoe stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that comes back a little, but
the Zoe stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see stuff again from there.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure.
But it's not as like, yeah, it feels like a little interlude while he sets up like, all right, how am I going to get this to play out?
Right, exactly. Because, well, he's juggling, literally, he's juggling three things. He's like, there's Big Mom, who's mad at you from the thing you did 2 arcs ago in the Fishman Island.
Right.
And then there's Kaido, who's mad at you for the thing that you just did. Actually, no, the thing you did 2 arcs ago in Punk Hazard, where basically destroying the factory and kidnapping Caesar Clown Gas Dude. So
I think he was making devil fruits for Kaido, right?
Yeah, he was making the thing that Doflamingo was using. Yeah, he was the producer of the SAD, the stuff that made the fake devil fruits. And Doflamingo was the one selling those to him. So I guess technically the double up of destroying the factory and the production of the SAD and also destroying the supply chain that was getting it to him made Kaido mad. So now Kaido's mad. And you've got this samurai dude with you. Now you've got 3 samurai dudes with you who all have this conflict that you're basically agreeing to help them with all at the same time. Like it's all happening.
And every side character has their things too. And they run into people they know.
Yeah, they
everywhere.
Keep running into people they know everywhere. They've got this whole thing where all of these people have now pledged their loyalty to the Straw Hat crew and are sailing around doing their own thing. Yep. Jimbei comes back like he said he would.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's impressive how many things are happening.
I wonder if he just like lets people make fan theories and is like, all right, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Whew, thank God.
Easy.
I'm glad these guys are nuts and they read this whole thing so crazy and make these fan wikis because, oh boy. That's how it would have to be for me, I think. And okay, let's talk about D&D for a second.
Why?
Because this is so not how you would do a D&D campaign.
Oh, no.
Sorry, assuming that he actually does, assuming he doesn't do the thing that I just said. A D&D campaign actually is more like what I just said. It is more like you just go by the fan theories and you're like, all right, yeah, we'll do that one.
Yeah.
I think that is a lot more the point of collective storytelling, right? And you go into more detail on the things that the players ask for. And you don't go into more detail on the backstories of your stupid characters who are just going to get beat up. Like, we know they're tough. That's why they're number one for whoever this person is. I didn't need to know why they wear the little scarf.
It's because he has a weird mouth.
Yeah. It's not even like a good reason.
Also,
why does it have to be 4 chapters?
Was it?
I don't know. It felt like it.
I didn't even get that far. I just know he has a weird mouth.
There's a flashback.
There's a flashback. Why he has a weird mouth.
Yeah. And why no one's ever seen him eat, which is because he has a weird mouth.
Okay. But hold on a second. That is annoying sometimes, but sometimes
it's good, but not actually every time.
Like the one that always gets me is what's his name? Darn, I'm not gonna remember his name in time. I've wasted so much time already trying to remember his name, but Senor Pink.
I don't remember that person.
One of Doflamingo's guys, the guy who wears the baby outfit and has the swim fruit where he swims through the ground.
Yeah.
That guy, you're like, who is this? Like, Oda, you're such a weirdo. Like, these characters that you make are so weird. This guy's got a binky and he's wearing a bonnet and he's wearing sunglasses and all of these women are fawning over him. And he's talking about being a hard-boiled guy and he's sticking to principles, like, weirdly. And you want to make fun of this guy. You think he's the stupidest character ever. And then Oda throws in 2 chapters of backstory. And it turns out the guy had a wife and a kid. And the kid died. And the wife blamed him and left him. And then she got something happened and she ended up in a coma. And he wore the bonnet to go see her one day, and that was the only time that she smiled was when he was wearing the bonnet, and that's why he dresses like a baby every day, because it made his catatonic wife smile. And you're like, where do you come up with this stuff, man? He was just supposed to be a weird dude dressed like a baby. Why? Like, why?
Okay, but yeah, something way out there like that needs more explanation than why is the guy with the big mouth wear a scarf?
Oh, he's got a weird mouth.
He's got a weird mouth. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. He doesn't like people to see him eat because he has a weird mouth? Oh, probably somebody made fun of him, right? Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
They go way more into his backstory than that.
In contrast, like, you look at the guy who wears the baby outfit everywhere and you're like, what is going on with this guy? And you just assume, like, he's just a weirdo.
I mean, that's an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's backstory.
Yeah.
It's a totally different kind of deal.
Right.
Than, like, oh, I was bullied as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Probably.
Probably. You have a weird mouth.
Yeah. And you weren't a pirate yet.
Right.
So you became a pirate. Big Mom probably helped you out. And she loves eating. So she'll, like, if you're not eating, she'll make you a little tea house or something or whatever he has.
Yeah. He's I just like that those are his two like defining character traits.
I stand like this. I got a scarf. I have a weird mouth.
The thing that they say, they mention it like 3 or 4 times before that scene, that his back has never touched the ground in his entire life. His back has never touched the ground. They say that like 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I'm going to go inside of my tea hut now. And then when Luffy busts the roof open, he's laying down on his back eating a donut. Like his 2 biggest things are gone.
Yeah, he's not all that tough actually.
Yeah.
He lays down and he's like singing or something and eting food, and he's like, "Oh, I love eating food. I'm not tough at all."
Yeah.
And it's why do they have to fight now then? Like, why can't Luffy just beat him?
Right.
But no, it's a long drawn out fight.
Yeah, the thing that's weird about it too, the thing that's really weird about it is Luffy starts to win against him immediately, like because he's lounging around eating a donut, whatever. He's not paying attention. Luffy starts to win, like punches him a bunch of times, and then he like keeps his cool again. He like gets back, and Luffy can't hit him anymore again.
Yeah, although I think that's it doesn't matter right now. That's good. We're all set.
Okay.
I have no idea what we were talking about. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it came out of the blue.
It's the blue. That's like a One Piece thing, right?
The all blue?
Yeah, the all blue.
The place with all the fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say like One Piece out. Like peace out. like
No, we already cut it. We already cut it. You didn't. You know.
This is in there. This is canon right now.